If your body ever feels confusing on a GLP-1, this week is a really good example why that doesn't mean anything is wrong. This is my week 8 update on 7.5 milligram Mounjaro, and I'll be taking my week 9 injection today. And honestly, my body did some weird stuff this week, and we're going to talk about it. Hey guys, welcome to Slow and Steady with Andi. I'm Andi, and today I'm going to talk about how my week 8 went on 7.5 milligram Mounjaro, and also I'll be taking my week 9 injection with you guys. So I mentioned in last week's video that I ended up moving my injection day from Thursday to Friday. I didn't plan on changing my injection day, but because Christmas fell on a Thursday, and I always record my weekly updates that I share with you guys on my actual injection day, I didn't have time to get that done on Christmas Day. So I moved it to Friday, and I really didn't think anything of it because originally I moved my injection day from a Tuesday to Thursday, and I really didn't have any changes in how my body reacted by delaying myself an extra day in order to get myself to my new injection day. So I was a little surprised that this week some of my old side effects kind of creeped up on me. So some of the old side effects that crept back up on me were sulfur burps, gas, like, toot toot gas, a little bit of nausea, but mainly the sulfur burps and the gas. And if you've never experienced the sulfur burps, they're pretty interesting. They do not, to me, they don't taste like anything, but they definitely have an odor to them. Almost like if I ate something really, really super garlicky and then the next day I'm burping up garlic burps. That's what it reminds me of. And I've had a lot of that this week. Also, the gassiness, the toot toot type of gassiness, and a little bit of nausea. So that was really unexpected because it has been a long time now since I've had definitely the sulfur burps and the gas. So that's been weird. I've also felt really super bloated this week, which I think that's from the gassiness. I don't think I have really water retention going on because usually if I'm dealing with water retention, I notice it in my ankles for sure, like my feet and my ankles, but I haven't had that going on either. So I really don't know why I had a different reaction this week. Um, my guess is because I delayed myself a day of taking the medication. So maybe a little more of it had left my system than usual. And so when I took it on Friday, my body reacted almost as if I took a larger dose than I'm used to. I don't know. This is all just speculation, you guys. This is what I do is I come here and I share with you how things are going as honestly and as in full explanation as I possibly can because I am the type, I don't have anything to hide. I'm not afraid to tell you that I'm burping and farting over here. I mean, we're adults, right? So I just want you to be prepared if you're new to this or maybe you'll be going to a higher dose. That way you're not left with surprises like I was when I was moving through doses. I can tell though, now that I'm here, now it's next Friday and I still have some of the gassiness, but I think most of it has faded. I do still feel like the tummy bloat though. It's always possible I'll have a random period, even though I'm in menopausal phase of my life. Sometimes that still happens. I don't know. But even with those older side effects showing up, the food noise was still very quiet and the appetite suppression was still very full force. So I am still very happy with the 7.5 milligrams so far. Now, I do want to talk about, though, a little bit of an interesting, I don't know, I guess perspective that I've dealt with over the past few days. And the way the holidays fell, I did take off like half of Christmas week. So I had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. But for New Year's week, I did not have Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday off. I only had Thursday, New Year's Day off. And then I worked today, Friday. And so on all those days off that I had, I, I was like having to remind myself I needed to eat. That is how strong the appetite suppression has been for me on the 7.5 milligram. But I did notice working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then now today, I definitely notice in that 8 hours that I'm working, I find myself wanting to munch, to eat, and I'm not hungry. I know for a fact I'm not hungry. I can tell now very clearly being on the GLP-1 what true hunger versus emotional appetite feels like. So I think it's just, I find myself so bored with my job and fighting to like want to stay awake. I have no problem when I'm not working staying awake. I have no problem over the weekends staying awake. It's just when I'm sitting 8 hours a day doing the job that I'm doing, which entails a lot of just data entry all day long. I'm finding that I want to snack. It's almost like somebody who is a smoker. I used to be a smoker, and the thing that you're addicted to when you're like a smoker is, for me, it really wasn't ever the nicotine. It was the activity of the smoking. It was keeping my hands busy. So this is kind of like the same type of feeling I'm getting when I'm working and I want to pick up something to eat, because if I'm picking up something to eat, then it's helping me to stay awake, and that is not good. That is not good. Your girl needs to get this figured out. It's not going to be about finding another job, because this is what I do. This is the type of work I've been doing since I was 18 years old. And aside from my small business that I started with, this behind me here is my face painting kit. I'm a face painter as well. Unless this like turned into some big booming business, like I have to work. Um, we both, my husband and I, have to work, and changing a job, it's not going to be any different. I would still be doing the same type of job. So I got to get it figured out, because if I'm being honest, it's like really depressing. It's kind of depressing, but I don't want to depress you guys. I just want to update you on how my week 8 is going. But these are some just real details of my life, of how my brain functions, of what I'm going through, which, I mean, it's definitely not anything to complain about. I'm not complaining at all. It's just, it's how it is. I don't know how else to say it. I know I'm rambling on, but I really wanted to bring it up. I felt like it was an important thing to bring up to you, because it was my own self-observation going on. And really it just brought to the forefront that a lot of times a lot of times it hasn't been that my body is wanting food, it's that my brain is just wanting stimulation. So, I got to figure out how to accomplish that while I'm working, so I don't lean in towards that. I am proud of myself because I haven't been giving into that, but what ends up happening is it's very mentally exhausting. And I know some of you probably can understand because you feel like you're constantly fighting against something. And I just want to get to that point in my life where I don't even have to think about it at all. And being on Mounjaro has really helped that a lot. Shutting down that food noise has just been truly, truly very freeing. But even with the food noise shut off, those moments still happen. And it's just the reality of somebody like me with my biology and my habits or issues that have developed through my life. And it probably will always be something that I have to fight against. So I like to give you guys a weekly weigh-in update, and I will pop in the screen recording from my Smart Scale app. And frustrating, it's one of those frustrating weeks, which I haven't had a frustrating week in a while. I've pretty much been steady losing about a pound a week. Last week I weighed in at a 2-pound weight loss, which has never happened over this whole journey. But this week, my scale hates me and it has me weighing in at 237 point something, when last week I weighed in at 235. But I'm just kidding when I say my scale hates me. Over the past months of doing this, I've really come to get used to the fluctuations that happen. And it makes sense that the scale is showing a higher weight because I feel really bloated. But the weird thing is that even though I feel bloated and the scale is reading higher, I feel like the circumference of my body has gotten smaller. And let me try to explain this in a way that isn't super confusing. I will do my best. But like this shirt that I put on today feels bigger. And when I'm holding my arms against my sides, it just feels different. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Do you have those moments where you put something on, or you're standing, you have your arms at your sides, and you can just feel that your body has changed? Well, that is what's happening. So it's just weird. Scale up, body feels smaller. You know, this is how the journey goes when you are on a weight loss journey. So many changes, so many things to figure out, but I still can feel the progress happening. And I'm fully expecting that when I weigh in next week, or I weigh in every day. So at some point over the next days, I will notice that weight come back down. So, something I do think that is also affecting my weight is that over the Christmas week, I really got off track as far as doing my daily walking on my treadmill and lifting weights and like doing other activities, because we were just doing so much family visiting, running around, preparing things at home, that I just got off track. So as we moved into New Year week, I started to do my hand weights. I have 8-pound, 10-pound hand weights. And I have learned throughout this GLP-1 journey that when I start doing more exercise, especially if I'm doing any type of weight training, that my body starts to have some fluid retention, because when you do start working muscle, it will hold on to water while it goes through its like recovery time. That's why it's common that people don't do the same type of weight training every day. So like you have leg day, you have arm day, you have different day, because your muscles need time to recover. So like I said, over this journey, I've noticed that when I start to do weights, that my body will hold on to water, and then as like everything recovers, it'll come back off. So I really do think that has also impacted why the scale is showing a 2-pound weight gain this week. But even with all that going on this week, the side effects, the weight gain, I'm still very optimistic and encouraged that the Mounjaro is still doing what it's meant to do and it's working really well. Food noise is still mostly quiet. Appetite suppression is still working. So that shows the medication is still very effective. And this is all very normal for me being on a slow and steady and sustainable long-term weight loss journey. So I am going to very quickly take my week 9 injection with you. So let me just clip my little pink microphone right here. And if any of you are curious or nosy what I'm opening, this is my type 2 diabetic trusty little case that I keep with me at all times. And it has my blood glucose monitor, alcohol wipes, my test strips, and these are my safety lancets. I love that case. I'm so glad that I got that case. I do have the Dexcom G7, but sometimes, especially when I have just changed out my sensor, I will still do the blood glucose monitor to calibrate this to make sure I'm getting the right readings. And sometimes if this sensor is giving me an alert for a really low reading, so I'm going to do my left arm today. Last week I did my right arm. My hubby was home and helped me do that. And for those of you who might be watching this for the first time, I no longer inject in my belly because I get the best appetite suppression and food noise relief when I inject in my thighs and my arms. So that's probably about right. And remember to take the cap off the pen. It has happened once where we forgot to take the cap off and injected, and that was a waste of a pen. Right, do my little unlock and brace myself for the sting. Oh, and that's it. Man, it does sting, but I can't do the belly anymore. I wish I could because I never feel anything in the belly. It doesn't hurt at all in the belly, but I don't get like any appetite suppression, any food noise relief. I get nothing when I inject in the belly. So I will keep sticking with the arm and the thigh. So that is my week 8 update and my week 9 injection. I'll have a video next week updating you on how week 9 went. I hope you are finding these videos really helpful. If you are also on a GLP-1 journey, definitely comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing like where you are in your journey, what dose you're on, if you're comfortable telling that type of information, because it encourages me, and I definitely know that it is helping and encouraging others who are also able to see other people who are on this journey. And I quickly just want to thank all the new subscribers that have come aboard this little slow and steady hashtag Team Turtle family. So great to have you here, and I really appreciate your support. And I just want to remind you, if you are on a GLP-1, whether it's Mounjaro, Zepbound, Wegovy, Ozempic, and your journey is feeling slow, don't give up. And I will be right here with you along the way, sharing the honest weeks, not just the exciting ones. Slow and steady always wins. See you in the next video. Bye.
Been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.